Very good morning. This is Dr. N.R. Madan, Assistant Professor, Department of Mechanical Engineering. Today, we are going to see about the topic principal stress and principal planes in strength of materials. Before going to the topic, I would like to give some short introduction about the stress and planes. What is stress? The stress is nothing but any object or part deform under the external load. Deform under the external load is called as, that will create internal pressure on the object. That internal pressure is called as stress. If it is external, it also considered as a load. This is a myth along worldwide is increased. Actually, the internal pressure is called as stress. The external mean is we should consider as an external load only. Whenever the external load or maybe a pressure or maybe any type of loads, due to that type of loads, the internal pressure is called as stress. Okay, what are the types of stress? Tensile stress is compression stress, shear stress. What is tensile stress? The object is any object undergone some pull is called as tensile stress. Any object undergone some compression or push is, we call it as compression stress. Similarly, any object undergone some transverse load along axial load, we call it as shear stress. Okay. In three types of stress, along some plane is acting on an object. Where is a plane? This is actually a plane. This is actually a plane. Here, this is actually a plane. And here also, the center axis is a plane. It's acting along the plane. That is called principal planes. Okay. The need for transformation. In practical application, there is no part can be a load around single stress, like maybe a tensile, alone compression, alone shear stress. There is no object practically available in the world. All the load can be mixed with tensile along with shear stress, or maybe a compression along with the shear stress. In this case, we should derive tensile along with tensile or compression along with shear. We should separate it using some standard methods to calculate the exact load stress level is created. If it is not created, if it is not find out, only we find out the overall bulge values, what will happen? We should unwantedly increase the part weight. It leads unwantedly, unutilized of the part can be used. It will reduce sustainability. So, whenever we should optimally utilize the parts, we go with principal stress and strains to identify exact value of stress, exact value of shear stress is applied. How it is, how much it is applied, we should identify. For example, a part is loading along some angle. The some angle mean maybe a 30 degree of angle. what will happen in this case? We should derive into two components. First one, along the x, along the y. Along the y is nothing but is shear stress. Along the s is, in this case, is compression stress. Which one has more? Is 30 degree means the compressions is stress is dominating high compared to shear stress. If it is 45 degree, what will happen? If it is in 45 degree, what will happen? In this case, both are having equal loads. Suppose it is in case of 90, take it as load of 9. So, திரும்ப exit அமிக்கிட்டே இருக்கேன் நான். Right. If for example we should take 90 as value, what will happen? 90 kilonewton, which is equally shared 45 as 45 kilonewton is shared by shear load and compression load. This is the real case. This is why analysis stress on the inclined plane is critical for design. For any engineer, before going to the further analysis after designing, we should derive principal stress and plane is very important. Yeah. The state of stress at a point. The complex load, the engineering, why we go with the principal stress and strain is the engineering component like shafts, beams really experience simple unidirectional loads. They are subjected to a combinations of axial, bending and torsional forces simultaneously. That is very important. The simultaneous is very important. The normal stress sigma x and sigma y, we call it as sigma x and sigma y. If it is a y directional, we call it as sigma y. If it is a x directional, we call it as sigma x. And if it is a shear stress, we call it as tau x and y, suffix xy. This is what 2D element, yeah, infinite similarly small box represents the state of stress at the specific point within a material. Okay. The core definition, the principal planes, I already told you that the unique material mutually perpendicular planes passing through a point within a stressed body on which the shear stress absolutely 0, because there is no angular load is applied, which means the shear stress is absolutely 0. In similarly, the plane concern and also a stress concern, the purely normal stress acting on a principal plane because the shear is 0. These represent maximum and minimum normal stress at any point. This, in this case, the maximum and minimum at acting any of the parts. At that part, the crack may be created along the parts. It will be visualized. it will be visualized during the testing, tensile testing or compression testing. Okay. In problematic side, to find the principal stress, the major axis, minor axis, it can be derived. What is nothing but sigma 1, sigma 2. Along the x we call it as major, and along the y we call it as minor axis, and which is called nothing but sigma 2. It is a two-dimensional load can be applied. The stress transformation equation derived from equilibrium state is sigma 1 and 2 is nothing but sigma x plus sigma y. What is sigma x? The stress along the x direction, along the y direction. The whole root of sigma x minus sigma y by 2 the whole square plus tau square suffix xy. The location of the principal plane, this is very important because that point the crack may be generated during the testing or real world application. How to find the particular point, how the angle of crack can be generated is nothing tan 2 theta equal to 2 xy by sigma x minus sigma y. We, from this we can easily find out theta equal to tan inverse of 2 tau xy by sigma x minus sigma y. This theta is very essential, is very important for the finite element analysis. And for maximum stress, previously we only focused on normal stress. Here is the shear stress. In the shear stress, maximum is nothing but sigma 1 minus sigma 2 by 2. The plane orientation, the maximum shear stress is always located exactly 45 degree. Already in the previous slide itself I tell you that the exact 45 degree in the maximum shear stress will be occurred. And normal stress is typically not 0 on any plane at maximum stress. And we have another method to identify the location of principal stress and strain is Mohr circle, is a theorem, is a simple way. Using the graphical method we can able to identify the theoretical value also. Draw the coordinate systems where the horizontal representations and vertical representations shear stress, and second one is plot face orientations, and third one is draw the circle sigma 1 and sigma 2, and based on this circles we can easily find out the maximum stresses by using this Mohr circle. And interpretation of the Mohr circle, we will get major principal stress sigma 1 and minus principal stress sigma 2, and maximum shear stress tau max is derived from radius of the circle, and theta 2 theta we will get, in this case we directly get the 2 theta. Once we greater than 2 theta we will get the angle of projection easily, and this is a graphical inside method. The overall engineering application, the failure theory, the principal stress directly input of yield is very important. For any brittle material or ductile material, the principal stress should be considered. In machine design, for aerospace applications and pressure shaft to ensure factor of safety is met, because the principal stress and principal strain will reduce the material requirements, and reduction of the material will leads to increase the efficiency of the aerospace application efficiency. And the purpose of principal stress and strain is finite element analysis validation. For any finite element analysis validation, is the principal stress is very important. Is the output principal stress as default contour plot to highlight critical stress concentration. And that point we can ensure add material or maybe add some additional supports or wedges to reduce the stress concentration, high critical stress concentration. With this method, the principal stress and strains is highly useful for the real application. Thank you for watching. This is Dr. N.R. Madan, Assistant Professor, General Engineering. Thank you.